Good God, yes, you may well ask, what am I doing at 7:30 in the morning wandering through the outbacks of Swindon? In fact, I come to meet my mate Bryan, and we're going out for a day's carp fishing on this cracking little water that he knows. Hello, I think we're here. No, perhaps not, we'll have some of that a bit later. Ah, this is the place. Oh, what a cracking morning. I don't think Bryan could have dialed this up any better if he tried. He really couldn't. Super. Hello, mate. How you doing? Yeah, terrific. No problem at all. What a lovely morning. Nice to see you.
Morning.
Terrific, really good.
Good trip down?
Yeah, fabulous. Really was. Very, very good. I'll tell you what, we'll have a few off the top, haven't we?
Yeah, they were feeding really well last night.
Oh, I like all this. Looking forward to it. Really going to be good stuff.
Good.
As well as this session with Bryan, which I'm really looking forward to, this magic lake, and I'm sure we're going to knock a few fish out, I'm here for another reason. Bryan's in the retail business, and he sells particles, and that's a real love of mine. I've got this faddish about particles, and he's got some pretty exotic ones that we're going to have a look at. So come, let's go in the shop and we'll have a look. I'm really looking forward to this. You've been telling me about all these bits and pieces you got on the phone, but God, let's have a look at them. God, this is knockout, Bryan. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you've got a few here, haven't you? I don't think in all my 30-odd years of carp fishing I've ever seen so many particles under one roof. What have you got here, mate?
Well, here at Hinders of Swindon, we've been supplying anglers for many years now, just with standard baits like the hemp, the tears, etc. But we were finding a growing need, especially from the carp angler, for various different types of exotics, beans, peas, pulses. So we decided to go wholeheartedly into it, and we've now got in excess of 70 different types. 70? Yeah. That's
staggering. I actually didn't know there were 70 different particles about. Yeah. I see you've got some of my favourites here. I love these things. Sunflower seeds. They are brilliant floating bait, they really are. I've never seen many people actually use them, but I've literally caught hundreds of carp on these. One that's been overlooked. Safflower the same. Good baits. What else have you got? Show us what other bits.
Down here.
Ah, I see you've got some kidney beans there. Look at these. Killers of carp, or so a lot of people think. But believe you me, when these are prepared right, they're as safe as any of the other ones. There's this myth around that these are detrimental to carp fishing. Not so. Very big carp have been caught on them. We'll show you a little bit later just how to prepare these 100% so they're safe. I see you've got some peanuts as well. That's a controversial bait. They've actually been banned on a lot of waters, and wrongly so in my opinion, because prepared in the correct way, they're as good. They really are. But the one thing that I'm staggered with all this lot, is just the cleanliness of them. You know, just look how clean these are. Amazing. I've never bought particles so clean. They really are very, very good. Bryan, come, how'd you get them like this, mate? There must be a secret, I'm sure.
Well, that's the original product as it comes into us. I mean, as you can see, it's full of twigs, stones, maize, dust. I mean, it's absolutely filthy, no good for the angler at all. It's a bit of a trade secret how we actually get it to that final stage for use for fishing. But basically, we've got a series of machines which will take away all the excess dirt, dust, twigs, stones, glass, etc. And finally polish it to get it to the standard.
Great stuff. Here, look, mate, I've had enough of all this sales talk. Come, let's get a few of your beautiful baits you've got here to go and catch some carp. Right, mate, we've arrived. What a cracking place you brought me to here. Gin clear water, lovely day, carp swimming about. Where on earth are we though, mate? I haven't got a clue. I've been following you up and down these lanes for blooming ages.
It's a lovely little day ticket water called Whelford Pools. It's just off the A419, about 1.5 miles from Fairford in Gloucestershire.
Smashing. It's fairly accessible as well by the looks of it, even though I've been trunting along behind you for some time. Well, we've had a scurry round the lake and seen some cracking fish.
Some lovely fish.
This gin clear water, we've been walking round and we've seen loads of carp, all mainly doubles, and I think an odd few 20s there as well. Beautiful mirrors, commons, linear mirrors, perfect linear mirrors, and some cracking fully scaled fish. I'm really itching to get the rods out, mate. I'll tell you what though, I think we'd better have a look at some of these baits that we brought with us first.
Yep, okay.
When we talk about particles, I suppose we include in everything from nuts, beans and pulses, the whole gambit, really from Brazil nuts right down to hemp seed and things like that. Probably the most basic, sweet corn. Out of the can, no preparation involved at all. Just stick it on the hook and away you go. And by the way, these golden grains actually accounted for the largest carp to be caught in the UK at present day times. 51.5 pounder to Chris Yates at Redmere Pool in 1980. Yet to be beaten. Speaks for itself. Magic bait. Along very similar lines, a favourite of mine is maize. For some reason or other, and I don't know why, not one that's used that much here in the UK. It's a very, very good bait and instant. Preparation is paramount with this, it really is. In its dried up form, it needs soaking. Overnight, 24 hours is better. And then pressure cooked, that's my favourite way of doing it, on the bank for 20 minutes. Alternatively, boil in an open pan, at least for half an hour. I use a lot of this in France. It's a cheap and easy way of really getting a good bait. This is smashing quality stuff, mate. Where's this come from?
Well, this is actually French maize. It's actually grown down in southern France, as you probably well know.
Thought I recognised it.
But it's really the depth of colour that you get with the French maize, and obviously the cleanliness of the thing to start with, that makes it far superior to other grades.
Yeah, it really is good. It's clean. I like this. Shows out well on that. Use this in France a lot, as well as the UK.
Yeah.
I'll now show you a way that I'll put these actually on a rig. We've got a special little setup that we use. This is the rig that I use with the maize. Like to pop it up off the bottom so the carp can see it. Big chunk of rig foam. Cut a couple of squares out of it and insert it between about half a dozen grains. That will sit up off the bottom, counterbalance with a bit of lead putty. In France, this is a rig that I've caught literally hundreds of carp on. That stands out like a sore thumb among big beds of maize bait. What I've got on there is a very long hair, a giganormous hook for the UK, but you need something like that in France. That's a size 2, very, very strong. Onto a 25-pound line, tungsten putty, popped up about 3 inches. Great rig. Hemp seed, undoubtedly the most universal particle, used by many, many coarse anglers, not only for carp fishing, but for general coarse fishing. Just about every fish that swims in our UK waters is attracted by this bait. Brilliant stuff. And I'll tell you what, this is superb quality, Brian. Where's it come from?
Well, it actually took us a long time to locate this one. It's actually a 3.5 mil Chinese hemp, and it's been specifically grown for fishing. It's got a very high oil content and the splitting capability of around about 85%, which is ideal for the purpose we're using it for.
That's brilliant. I like the way these split open like this. The way we actually achieve this is by the soaking process again, and not as long as the other particles. 4 or 5 hours is sufficient, and in order to put it in a pressure cooker, bring the pressure cooker literally up to boil, turn it off. That's enough, and they split wide open like that. Brilliant bait. Chickpeas. These are a cracking little bait. This is what they look like in their dried form. Have to soak these a bit longer than hemp seed, ideally overnight, preferably for 24 hours. They swell up quite nicely. These are sprouted chickpeas. Now, I love these. They're really good. We leave these just moist between a towel or some sheets of paper and they sprout. You use these, Bryan?
Yes, I do, yeah. One thing we always do as well is scald them before you do go and use them, because obviously if you leave them in that state, they're just going to carry on growing in the carp's stomach until they're actually scalded. which is putting them into cold water, bring it to the bore. As soon as it hits the bore, you can knock it off, and then they're ready to use.
That's a very, very good idea, because obviously these are a natural food and they will just carry on growing indefinitely. You know, once they've got water, it's there. Yeah. So very, very good point. And I like to flavour and colour mine. Look at those. They really are very, very nice. And what I do, for about every pound of dry weight, I'll put in about a teaspoon of colour, and I also like to put a bit of flavour and a bit of enhancer. Chickpeas certainly take sweet and savoury colours very, very well. In these particular ones, I've got strawberry, which I'll put about 10 ml into the pound, and a sweet enhancer, about 5 ml to the pound. And I'll put that in the soaking process, and then they're pressure cooked. If you're going to boil them, I find it's better to actually add the flavours after you boil them, because you will boil the flavour away. So it's a good way of doing it. And really, you know, what a cracking little bait. How can the carp refuse those? Kidney beans. Earlier, back at Bryan's shop, we spoke about these. Apparently a killer of carp. Certainly not so, if they're prepared right. But it is absolutely essential that they are soaked at least for 24 hours. I'm not happy unless they are soaked for that length of time. They will swell up, take on the water. Then pressure cook them, quarter of an hour, minimum. If you haven't got a pressure cooker, boil them up and make sure you boil them for at least 20 minutes, better still, half an hour. They'll be nice and soft. Take a hook or a hair rig. While we're on controversial baits, peanuts. These have been banned on a lot of waters. Why on earth, Bryan?
Well, there was a problem a couple of years ago. There's actually a fungal growth, which is like a cancer-forming growth called aflatoxin. The way a peanut actually gets that is if it's laid around for long periods of time on the floor and it gets damp, this mould actually gets inside the peanut. The way that we overcome this, we actually only buy in human-grade peanuts, together with a full aflatoxin certificate, which on entry into this country, it's filled out, the peanuts go away, they're checked to make sure they're totally clear of aflatoxin. It really is one area that you've got to be very careful of where you're actually buying your peanuts.
But you're happy with the quality that you've got?
No problem whatsoever.
And no qualms at all about selling to the angler?
No problem.
What about preparation?
Preparation, normally what we do is soak them overnight, into the pressure cooker, boil them up for about 20 minutes. That gives a nice swell into the peanut. They're not going to get in the carp's stomach then and actually swell it out and cause the carp problems. But prepared in that way, by the right quality, you've got no problems whatsoever with peanuts.
Great.
Cracking bait.
I like to flavour mine. Yeah. I prefer caramel and malt and maple and things like that, and a bit of sweetener. What about yourself?
No, just plain.
Just plain as it is?
Peanuts, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I see we've got some of these here. Look at this, cashew nuts. These really, they're a bit too good to give the carp, aren't they?
These are human grade too.
Marvellous stuff.
Right.
What are these things?
These are called mop beans.
I've never seen these before.
No. As far as I know, we are actually the only importer in this country of these mop beans. They're grown in the depths of India, very, very difficult to get hold of. But they are really proving a cracking bait at the moment, whether fishing them on a pop-up or actually fishing over the top of them. Very, very easy to prepare as well. It's just a matter of stick them in a pan of cold water, bring them to the bore, knock them off. All you're doing really is scalding them.
Just scald them,
just let them
denation them, same old thing.
Yeah, but the real attraction with the bean, I mean, if you taste one, it's like no other particle. It's like a real spicy
peanutty, isn't it?
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's great stuff.
And obviously the size, it's a sort of particle that really is never going to blow. You know what hemp's done. Hemp is produced for many, many years. We believe mop beans is the next hemp.
Really? Yeah. It's great. I've never seen anyone using these before. Never actually heard of them.
No.
Great stuff. Brilliant. What's that in that bucket you got over there, mate?
Oh, right. We've actually got mop beans in here as well.
What? I thought you wasn't going to tell anyone about this.
Well, they got to know, haven't they?
Well, I suppose so, really. This is the secret bait. 14 different particles in there. Every mini seed that we know that's attractive to the carp is in that little lot. It has really done the business on a lot of waters. Spread that out as a mass on the bottom, big bed, tracks the carp in from miles. Heinz 57, brilliant bait. Sunflower seeds. We spoke about these back at Hinders. No preparation at all. The carp will actually take these as they are. They're very light, and if you're fishing at distance, obviously difficult to catapult out. I actually bind them together with some Horlicks and a bit of water, roll them into the ball, and then you can actually catapult them out, getting on for 60 yards, which is great. Also, I'll show you how we rig these up now. Okay, for the sunflower seed rig, it's literally as simple as super gluing one seed on the back of a hook. I prefer to use quite a heavy gauge, short shanked hook, something like a super specialist. The hook link itself, I like Tectan. It's virtually invisible on the surface. No stark outline for the carp to see. That's about 10-pound breaking strain. To get that little tiny seed out there, I use a controller. This is a Terry Eustace controller. 2 DAM float stops above, stop swivel below. Simple as that. Right, I'd like to just finish on these two particles. The Carp bait of the 70s, the Carp bait of the 90s. Maple peas, a real favourite of mine, as much as my good mate Rod Hutchinson. He caught thousands of carp on this, literally. I followed along, a few behind, that's for sure. His favourite bait, my favourite bait. Easy to prepare. Much the same way as what we've done before, soaking overnight, pressure cooking for 20 minutes or boiling. But the secret with this is we don't use them straight away. We stick them in a bucket, shove the lid on and leave them for 2 or 3 days. They will start to ferment and melt up, and you will get this gungy slime on top, and they are really at their best. These really, I have to say, Brian, outstanding quality. When we used to buy them back in the 70s, certainly was nowhere near good as this.
No. Well, these are actually New Zealand maple peas. You can tell a good maple pea by its colour. If it's a light brownish colour, like these beans there, that is what you're really looking for. And obviously a highly polished pea at the same time, which makes sure you haven't got any of the dirt or gunge on the beans that really aren't doing the fish any good.
Great stuff. Very, very good quality. And I see your tiger nuts, they're also superb quality.
Yeah, these are actually Spanish tiger nuts. Spain is really the main producer on the tiger nuts now. Certainly the quality is the best. You know for a fact as well that you're always getting this year's crop.
Right.
So they always are nice and fresh.
Hear this thing about them varying from batch to batch, sizing and things. Is there a jumbo tiger nut or is it a myth?
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's very, very difficult to grade a tiger nut. Obviously, the shape of the seeds, it's naturally dehydrated. To actually put it over a sieve system to select a large one or a small one is virtually impossible. We have tried it a few times and we've got very close, but you could never specifically say that's a large tiger nut, that's a small one. They will normally come mixed.
Right, so a tiger nut is a tiger nut.
That's right.
What
yeah.
you ensure is the quality by making sure you've got the batches and the years.
That's right. Yeah, I mean you're far better off with a small tiger nut of the highest quality than a huge thing that really is about 6 years old and useless to anyone.
Right, that's great stuff. And preparation on the tiger nuts is very, very similar to what we've already done. And a bit like it's ironic really, the bait of the 70s and the bait of the 90s, prepared in so much the same way, are much, much better when they're fermented. So we do the soaking, the pressure cooking, leave for 2 or 3 days, and we end up with this gungy syrup on here that is real sticky and yucky, and they're absolutely at their best. Marvellous. I'll now show you how we rig these up. Tiger nut setup. Champagne cork. Strange? Not really. What we do, we actually shape it into a tiger nut itself. Very similar colour, very similar in texture. It's nice, and I like to always fish like this, with the bait presented just above all the free offerings. As the carp comes along, it stands out, and you can see that every time. Picks it up in preference. And I do like using this in preference to drilling them out and putting bits of foam in. Always do them in pairs, so that you've got the same smell and taste as in all your free offerings around. But a bit of cork at the top lifts it up off the bottom. If you want to fish it a few inches off, bit of tungsten putty, just to counterbalance it. Right, we've had a look at a few particles, but in reality we've only just scratched the surface. But I hope we've dispelled a lot of the rumours, a lot of the myths that surround particles and particle fishing. You now know how to prepare them, you now know how to use them. Bryan, as we said before, has got over 70 varieties for you to go and try. The idea is now, get out on the waters, go and experiment, enjoy yourself. It's another string to your bow, another good catcher of carp. Brilliant baits. Talking about catching carp, I really fancy having a crack down that little pool again. I'm off. I'm going to catch some carp. Happy about these mixers over their heads at all. Very, very spooky fish. They definitely know what this is all about, man. Seen it all before. Sorry. Bloody cameraman, get out of here. It's a sound record, this now, they're all at it. Fucking oh, I love it. Try around the roadside.
What?
Should we go and try around the roadside?
Yeah.
Ooh. In half heart. I'm just wondering about looking back down in that bay, because the sun's probably gone off a bit now. Lost it. I don't believe it. Well, I can't believe that. The hook slipped and you can see what's happened. It embedded in the side of the fish. Unfortunately, I've pulled a couple of scales off. That was a very, very good fish, a fully scaled mirror. That looked to me about 18 or 19 pounds. But there it was, took the tiger nuts, we'd done it all right, screamed off into the lily pads, through the hook, momentarily went back in again in the side of the body, gone. Carp fishing. Bloody mopping the things up. Oh. Left it a moment too long. I wasn't sure whether it was a line bite or whether it was a take. It was a take. Only one tiger nut left in its mouth, pulled it straight out of its mouth. Just left it a fraction of a second too long. I couldn't decide whether it was a line bite or not. Got it wrong again.
Very nice.
Come on, it's not over. This is the one. This is the one.
What have I got? Oh. I've got my piece. Oh, it's all gone from me. I feel all queer.
Either way.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Out.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a kicking one.
Fit fish.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I just can't believe it.
It's incredible.
I just don't know what to say. Well, I don't know. Let's have a look what's happened. I think basically the hook's just pulled, that's all. It's not out of shape or anything. It's just pulled. Pressure on the line was just too much for it. Big fish. Oh dear. Oh well, we tried. Nothing left at all. Well, I think we've tried absolutely everything down here. Don't know why it's all gone wrong, but it has. fishing this little tiny hole down in the corner of the pool with tiger nuts underneath the floats. We've probably had something like at least 6 chances. I've hooked 2 fish, both of which have gone adrift. I can't believe this. Are these some cute fish or what? Morning. It's about 6 o'clock and the old mist is just rolling off the water. It looks like it's going to be another glorious day. Very hot yesterday. We arrived at Whelford Pools about, I suppose, 11 o'clock-ish yesterday morning and spent the afternoon and evening stalking fish around the little bays. We spent the night over here on the main part of the lake, mainly to get a decent night's sleep, although I must admit, I was going over the traumas of yesterday in my mind for most of the night. We had a cracking time, hooked loads of fish, saw loads of fish, was fishing under the float with tiger nuts, on the surface with sunflower seeds, and it was a disaster. Loads of takes, lost them all. This afternoon, I'm going to get my revenge. We'll sit behind rods for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to get back on that float again.
Take that right in the margins?
Right in the margins, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Funny, the swans have only been over that a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Oh.
I thought they were taking all the nuts up there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when I heard it go then. I thought it may be another swan, but no, that's only was in about, God, 2 foot of water.
Yeah?
Yep. Come on. Easy as you go. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, there she goes. Oh. Oh, come on.
They're certainly patrolling right around those margins.
Yeah, amazing. Come on. Up you come, baby. Come on. Up you come. Oh, look at that. I think a fully scaled mirror, isn't it? Oh, and cross of that, Bryan. Well netted, mate. Terrific. Let's have it up and have a look.
Oh, lovely.
Great stuff. Hey, by gum. Go. Oh, that's a cracking looking fish. Grand job. Grand job. On the old tigers. The old tigers again. Just beautiful fish. Very heavily scaled. Oh, look, only just there.
There you go.
That's the bait, tigers. He's been out a few times.
And there's very soft there?
Well, I can see the problem now. Obviously, a lot of people are having the same problem with the fish being lost. You can see there that the skin is torn. That hook just fell out.
Yeah.
It literally, you know, it took nothing to get it out at all. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. £14, 4 ounces. Lovely. Well pleased with that.
Great.
Good. Great stuff. Okay, we'll get him back in the water. Yes. Oh, magic. Whee! God almighty. Where are you going, sunshine? Hey. Oh. God. No back leg up there again. Oh, I hate that. It's like playing 10 ton of weed on the line. Oh, it's right up underneath that. Yes, it is up. Oh. Yeah. Woo. Come on. Yes, come on. Up you come. Up. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, come on. Up. Jesus Christ. Whew. Keep on the surface. Yeah. Steady as we go. Oh, lovely. Yes. Yes, great one. Super.
Ooh,
Oh, pretty,
nice
pretty.
looking fish.
Yeah. Lovely, I like that. That looks a lovely one. Deep-bodied fish. Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, straight up on the unhooking mat, please, Bryan. Oh. Oh, that's pretty.
There you go. All the colour on that.
Well, these fish haven't very long spawned, but they've recovered quite well. Look at the little patterns all over the body on this one.
Gorgeous.
That's a good 2 inches inside the mouth. Oh, that's where I like to see them hook. That's a confident feeding fish for sure. Really, right down inside its mouth. Well, this one hasn't been caught anywhere near as much as the other one. Right, God, it's a long way down. That's not. At least it come out nice and cleanly and easily. Here we are. Double tiger nut again. They're certainly having those, aren't they? That is a confident fish. That was a long way down. Wouldn't have liked to have seen it too much further. Could have been a bite off. Lovely. About the same size as the last one, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Have a look for that. Pretty, pretty. Oh, look at that side.
That's a gorgeous side.
It's even better.
That side.
Very, very pretty fish. Very pretty. Really, very, very nice. Aren't you a darling? What have we got there, Bryan? 12 poundish?
Just over 12.
Right up that channel.
Yeah.
Right in the channel. That's gone 100 yards. Oh, right up underneath the blooming rope and down in the channel. Oh. Gee whiz. What a blooming run. Come on, baby. Up you come. Ooh. Let's try and get it on a shorter line. Oh. Go on, round the bushes.
Yeah.
All sorts of trouble here. We have a problem. Oh, God almighty. Where is this fish gone? We have really got a problem here. Oh. Oh. Come on, out you come. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's coming.
Do you want to net him down there?
Yeah, if you chuck the net over me.
Yeah.
Left shoulder. Oh. God, that was right the way down through that gap. Here she comes.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Trying to get it back. There's a snag there. It's all grating and it's horrible. Like it.
You like this side, or do you want me to come to the right?
Oh, look at that. Oh. straight to buggering. It really is.
Another one swimming in the background behind him.
Oh. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Hey, yes! Woohoo!
Oh, you take the rod on a minute.
Oh, look at that! Yes!
Right.
Oh, wow! I think that was a well-won fight. Sure. Ain't you a beauty? Yeah, great. Well, that's what we come for, Brian. Thanks for bringing to this wonderful little pool with these beautiful looking fish. Just look at the scalp hands on that, shining that sun. Ain't that pretty? $16.12. That's 16, 17's in the middle.
Doubles, yeah.
Yep. So 16.12.
Yep.
16.12. Beautiful.
Feels better.
Good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, cracking morning's fishing, mate.
Very good.
Really
lovely
enjoyed
fish there.
Yeah, and they superb condition. Really, very, very good.
Hell of a fight as well, the way they're tanking off down that margin. So
Brilliant.
I thought we were going to lose that third one.
Yep, yeah. Had me in the water as well. But
Yeah.
there we go. That's what it's all about. Come on the bank in the end, so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Is
So
it?
where have you actually been putting these baits then?
Actually, this whole end of the lake is full of features. It really is. It's up and down like a yo-yo, and I've been plummeting around. And I'll show you where I've been putting my baits, because I've had one in the margins,
Yeah.
one out on the pads, and I found a little bar out there. So
Yeah.
just show you where I've been putting. I've got to rebait and chuck out.
Right.
I'll do the margin rod first. What I found is, just out in front here, there's a bar that's running along almost parallel with the bank.
Yeah.
And about 12 foot out, just in front of that bush, it almost seems to come up onto a little plateau.
Yeah.
And what I've done, it's only an underarm chuck, it's just out there.
You can just see the edge of it there.
That's it, that's absolutely right on it. And what I've been doing, as soon as it's gone in, I've just a couple of handfuls of bait, and literally just straight down, 2 handfuls on it, and that's been enough.
The sun coming, you can really see that.
It's gorgeous.
patch there. Yeah.
And that's where most of the actions come from. But there's another couple of areas out there that I think are equally as good, and we're going to get a few fish off of those as well, I'm sure.
Right, that's the right hand rod. What about the left hand?
Basically, just out on the edge of that pads there,
Yeah.
right on that very point,
Yeah.
and just out beyond, I think there's a little bit of gravel.
Yeah.
I've been just putting the baits on that. So I'll show you where that is.
Right.
It's great actually fishing these 3 rods. They're all in different areas, which I love doing.
Yeah.
Rather than putting all your eggs in one basket, as it were. Covering, considering it's quite a small swim, we're covering an awful lot of area here. That's the spot. I'm sure there's got to be fish going there as they're going in and out those pads.
Yeah.
We've seen them moving on those pads all the time.
So it's obviously too far to throw the baits out. You normally catapult the baits there?
Yeah, 2 or 3 pouch loads. I'm going to do that now, in
Yeah.
actual fact. These have got so sticky, as you can imagine. They're now sort of like 3 days old, and I've been putting out a couple of pouch loads of tigers, a couple of pouch loads of maples.
Yeah.
And what I always do, stop them sticking the cap hole. I just have a bit of fresh water,
Yeah.
dip it in there first, in go the particles, not too many at a time, and then you can get a nice spread all the way around. They don't stick, and they keep in a tight formation out there, which is just the job.
Okay, that's the 2 outside rods. What about the middle rod?
Middle rod, just the other side of this bar. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a bit of a drop off, and that going into about 6.5 foot of water. And I reckon they're running backwards and forwards from one part of the lake to the other. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put some more bait out because that's beyond catapult range.
Yeah.
What I've been doing is putting the marker float out, and then with the bait dropper, putting a few baits out. So I'll shove the old marker float out there. Yeah, that's spot on. I'll leave that out there right while I bait up, and then what I do is I pull it back in once I've got a fair wad of bait out there. I don't know, have you used many of these? Do you use the old bait rocket much?
Yeah, it normally tends to sort of fly out the top though.
Yeah, what I have to do is I only go from half to 3/4 full, and I find if you give it a real old good thump and then slow it down, you tend to get a much tighter pattern, and they don't fly all over the place. Depends which particles. Some are definitely better than others for putting out there, but the old maples aren't too bad at all. There will be occasions when we want to put baits way beyond our casting range and definitely out of our baiting range. There's this distant island here that I really fancy putting a bait against. Seen some fish move in there earlier. Going to give that a crack in a minute. And the way I'm going to do it is with this boat. May look a bit Mickey Mouse this, a model boat you may say, but it's very effective. I've actually put baits out beyond 200 yards extremely accurately. Takes the hook baits out as well as the free offerings. Bryan, you sell these in the shop. Tell me a little bit more about them. You're quite au fait with them.
Well, they were actually designed specifically for fishing by Dave Childish, and we're certainly finding a lot of interest at the moment from anglers that are going over to France or abroad that are taking vast amounts of baits out to distances and rather than rowing backwards and forwards. I mean, this boat will carry 7 pound of bait.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, you know, it saves a lot of the old donkey work with the oars.
OK then, let's go and give it a go. Right. Oh, grab some bait. We'll take it down here.
You going to grab your rig?
Open your door. Yep, outside. Good. Lovely. Should do it. Smashing stuff. Okay, Bryan, do us a favour.
Yeah.
If you could feather the line out for us, that'd be great. Result round there, a few fish. I've been baiting up this little back channel here all day long. The fish are in here, really having the bait. Lost them yesterday, but we've gunned the tackle up a little bit today. Bryan's going to have a go now and see if we can get one out, get our revenge from yesterday. Let's have a go. Down it. Yes. Oh. No. In the weed again. Really slowly.
Gone straight through again, Andy.
Straight through the weed. Straight through the weed. Unbelievable what they're doing. I'll slacken off again. Give it its head a bit. Immense the amount of bubbles coming up there as it's charged through that thick weed. Oh, come on, keep it out. Oh, you know where these weed beds are every time. Come on. Out. Gee whiz, I've got weed all up the line. Going solid again. God. Gee, it's like washing up the bloody line. Look at it. Sure. Come on, baby. Oh. God, I can't move now.
It's certainly going well today.
Lemon scrappy fish, is it? I have to manoeuvre myself around here, Bryce. I can't get an angle on you.
Right.
Gee whiz. Come on. Come on. Head up, head up, head up. Head up, head up. Hey! Oh. Yeah. Revenge is sweet. Oh. Nice one. Oh, up the bank. Well, I must admit I was beginning to wonder there again. $17.12. Beautiful. Quick look before we put him back. Lovely fish. Pretty mirror. Still very, very lively. Super fish. Great. Okay, let's get it back. Here we go. The old sun's setting now at the moment. We really have had a cracking couple of days at this beautiful little pool. Unfortunately, Bryan's just up the way there and he lost one a little while ago. A few fish still about, so we're going to carry on fishing. I've seen a couple down in this corner and Bryan's got them there. So I'm just going to have a last fling.